so the tape will be available, I should say the recording will be available online as well. So is Corinne Barget here? No. Okay. Jeffrey Boyd? Freddie Dunlap? Maurice Falls? Tom Gilmore, I know is not here. Judith Hansis? No. Okay. Bruce Yampolsky is here.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jason Fletcher is here.
Here.
Okay. And I'm here, of course, Linnea Magnuson. My name is Linnea Magnuson, and I am the chair of the Soldiers Memorial Commission. And this is the July 16th, 2020 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting. And we're ready to begin. We do not have a quorum, it looks like. That's too bad. All right. Okay, so moving on with the agenda, and I think I can put it up here on the screen. Well, first of all, actually, before we start with that, I was wondering if, Jason, if you could introduce yourself and as a new member of the commission and let us know a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Fletcher. I was just recently appointed by Comptroller Darlene Green to sit on the commission to represent her. As I was saying earlier, I'm actually very excited about this. I have a lot of military family, including my son who's in the Army. I've been with the Comptroller's office for a little over 2 years now. I'm the Fiscal Operations Manager in one of her sections, over a couple of her sections. So I just really excited that she, appointed me to this commission. So I just hope to help and, help lead this commission forward.
Yeah, thank you very much and welcome again. What I'm going to do now is bring up the agenda. Let me see how I do that. So I'll do share screen here and then put this up here. There we go. Whoops, that's not right. Oh, there we go. There we go. Can everyone see the agenda now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so this is the agenda. So now what we should do now is let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've got a flag here. So let me see if I can do this. Oh. Bear with me here. Whoops, I just went past it. There we go. So Bruce, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I'd be honored, yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bruce. Let me get back to my agenda there, if I can. Okay, so first thing on the agenda was the approval of the meeting minutes, which we do not have a quorum today, so we'll have to move forward without doing that, I guess. And the next thing we've got on the agenda is introduction of Kate Scott, who is the new Missouri Historical Society's Collection Manager at Soldiers Memorial. And Kate, welcome, and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, and Mark can introduce you as well.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hi everyone. For those I have not met, I am Kate Scott. I have actually been working with the Soldiers Collection for almost 3 years now, previously under Shay Henryon, and then it was just recently promoted to Collections Manager. Just a little bit about my background. I have a bachelor's in anthropology and a museum studies graduate degree. And then before I came to Soldiers, I've done several collections internships at different museums around the country. And then I was the interim assistant registrar at Pulitzer Arts Foundation here in St. Louis.
That's great.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Mark. I think you're on now.
All right. I'm going to try to share the screen here.
Okay.
That's going to stop you, Linnea. So
sounds good.
Pardon me for one moment.
Tell me if you need me to do anything.
I have no picture now on here. I have a little picture of a phone.
Oh.
Everybody see that?
I'll just listen.
Okay. All
And
right, perfect.
people can see that, right?
Yep, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll run through these real quickly. I wanted to give you an update of the COVID response and our kind of current operational practices and procedures here. We have been closed, of course, or we were closed beginning in mid-March, I believe the 18th. We reopened about 1 month ago. During that planning for reopening, we worked closely with the city health director, Dr. Eccles. Karen and Fran spent a lot of time meeting with him and discussing our plans both here and up at MHM. But I'll try to summarize those very quickly. We reduced operating hours. That was one step. So we're open now Wednesday through Sunday, 10 to 5, and closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. That enables some more cleaning and sanitation during those closed days. So that was one thing that we did. Capacity is limited to 15 individuals in each of the galleries. That was another step that we took. And then traffic flow through the galleries is restricted to one way. So people aren't passing each other or kind of crossing by one another. So the flow starts in the west gallery and proceeds in a clockwise direction, I guess, to your left. And what that does is of course, you all know that kind of the challenges of the Soldiers Memorial building itself and getting guests through it in a logical way. But the flow now starts them in the west, and they proceed basically backwards in time. So it's a reverse chronological order, starting with today, and then that closes with World War II. And then from there, from that west, they proceed straight into the lower level where the World War I exhibit is currently. And they proceed around that full kind of oval path of that exhibit. And then they exit that lower level using the east elevator up to the east lobby and east gallery, where they're able to resume the reverse chronological order of that exhibit, taking them from World War I all the way back to the Revolutionary War. So pretty significant change there. Installed plenty of sanitation stations throughout the building where guests and staff can, routinely keep their hands sanitized. And then for staff, we're on a kind of a staggered schedule. We're basically doing our best to ensure that we're all not in here at the same time, and we're still working from home whenever that's possible. Of course, we need the frontline staff to greet guests and do that type of activity, but for us that are up in the offices here, we do our best to basically keep our distance from one another and schedule days when we're not all here at the same time, basically. So that's kind of in a nutshell. There's probably some other things that I've forgotten in that, but it's a lot of the stuff that you've seen in other places throughout the city as far as requiring face masks. All guests need to be wearing face masks. And then the other big piece of this is we've gone to a timed ticketing system where individuals need to register online prior to coming to Soldiers. They select a time and they enter at least an email address and their name. And that was by request of the city to support the city with contact tracing. So if there was an incident where we knew a COVID positive person had been to the building, we have the ability to get that information to the city, and they can proceed with contacting others who may have been in the building at the same time and help reduce the chance of transmission of the disease in that way. So those are a lot of the big changes. Attendance is obviously down from what it was before, which is something that, to be honest, I'm fairly comfortable with. We don't need a packed galleries right now. So that's kind of where that's at. All public programs are essentially canceled on site through the rest of 2020 for now, unless there's some, you know, dramatic improvement in the pandemic situation, which, you know, given that it's spiking again now, it's hard to see that quickly turning around and going the other way. So there won't be any on-site programs. There won't be any rentals or, you know, building use. As far as, you know, prior to closure, we were doing a lot of military promotions, retirement ceremonies, things of that nature. Those things are not happening inside the building during this time. So all of that's been a pretty dramatic change. However, we replaced all of our on-site programming with online programming, and we've seen really great success with it. And it's actually been exciting in a lot of different ways. We our staple program is the Chow and Chat, which was a lunchtime historical presentation aimed at, you know, prior to COVID, it was aimed at the downtown audience, trying to get them into the building during their lunch hours and get them to stop by. Well, we took that online during COVID, and we've also expanded it from once a month to twice a month. And we've seen great success. And one thing that's really interesting is, you know, we get, you know, 50 to 60 people attending those now. And we've seen in a lot of these sessions where we actually have a national audience, where you have people you know, tuning in from all across the country. So it's kind of one of these lemonade from lemons type situations where we're really able to expand that public access. And then Memorial Day, I wanted to speak about specifically. I think hopefully you all saw that we did a series of 3 videos where our volunteers came on site and they told the stories of select individuals who are memorialized outdoors in the Court of Honor or on the cenotaph, and they expanded on these individual stories and, you know, sharing life stories of these folks. And we saw really incredible outreach with that. We know that I have some of these numbers here. At least 1,881, so close to 2,000 people watched those videos. There were over 20,000 what they call impressions, which is basically stuff that you might not click on when you're scrolling through your social media, your Facebook and your different things, but you still saw them, and there's a way to track that. And then 967 engagements, which is some kind of, you know, where you click the like button, or you might share it with a friend or something like that. So while we did take that program online, obviously, we also saw participation at levels that we never would have come close to with an on-site program. So we still need those on-site programs, obviously. I'm not saying that, but just that we've been very successful with those, and that's kind of where that's at. So we're continuing that. We're continuing to look for ways to, you know, now we're kind of turning towards how do we tap into the K through 12 audiences and get them involved with stuff online, and making sure that there's opportunities for that to happen. So that's kind of where we're going with the programming. As Linnea introduced, Kate is the promoted to Collections Manager, and this was the position that Shay formerly held. Shay headed to the National Park Service in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, to work with their collection. I'm going to skip over Mike for a moment and then come back to him. A couple other things that have been happening. We've been working closely with the commissioning committee of the USS St. Louis. Barbara Broadhurst Taylor of the Taylor family is the ship's sponsor, which is a very big deal. And she has formed a commissioning committee, and we've been working with them, and a few things that we're doing in relation to the new USS St. Louis, which is going to be commissioned on the 8th of August, so very soon now. Upstairs here on the 2nd floor in room 206, which is the large room on the opposite end of the hallway, is the Taylor Hall. There is soon to be installed a USS St. Louis display or exhibit that focuses on each of the 7 ships and some of the artifacts that we have related to them. We don't have a whole lot in the collection. We do have a number of models, which I think are going to be a nice part of that display. And then Barbara is actually loaning the champagne bottle that she used to christen the ship that will be in that display, as well as a model that her husband bought her, actually, as a kind of a gift to mark her sponsorship of that ship. I don't know if you know much about ship sponsors, but these are really prestigious and important positions. The Navy uses them to help tie ships to their local communities. So it's really quite a thing. A lot of first ladies and individuals of that stature have filled that role for different ships. So no small deal at all. We also are working with Channel 9, and they are going to be producing a film that covers the history of the 7 ships, including the new one, the new USS St. Louis, that's going to be commissioned soon. And then our banner show that we've routinely done at the MAX this year will be a banner show that focuses again on the USS St. Louis, really trying to do all we can to raise awareness that there is a new USS St. Louis coming online, about to be commissioned, and raising community awareness and pride in that ship. And then finally, this coming Monday on July 20th, just a reminder that the Acquisitions Committee will be meeting at 10 a.m. via Zoom. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mike and let Mike talk a little bit about the exhibition schedule and the upcoming, well, it's a couple of years out, but the Vietnam exhibition that we're just kind of kicking off. So, Mike. You're muted.
Unmute myself and hit the share screen button, and hopefully y'all can see that.
Yep.
Great. So as Mark indicated, I was going to start by showing you, let's see if there we go. Tell you just a little bit, sorry, it's a little slow. There we go. About our exhibition schedule. Currently, the special exhibition that's in the lower level is St. Louis and the Great War. It's our World War I exhibit, and that will close officially on Sunday, June 3rd. And as we take that exhibit down,
January. Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry, January. What did I say?
June.
June. Woo! January 3rd of 2021. It will come down, and then what we'll be doing is transitioning that space over to host a temporary exhibit, traveling exhibit from the Smithsonian, which is titled Righting a Wrong, Japanese Americans and World War II. So it deals with the Japanese internment experience. And that'll have a kind of a shorter run. The temporary exhibitions from the Smithsonian are on a circuit as they go around the country. And so we'll have that here July 24th through October 3rd of 2021. And then as that exhibit closes, we'll finish renovating the lower level space to prepare for the exhibition, our next major exhibition, which is called Vietnam on the Home Front and the Front Lines, is our tentative working title. And that will open up on Veterans Day of 2022.
Okay.
And then would continue into either the spring or summer of probably 2024. We'll be doing some finalization of that as we develop the exhibition plans. And so to help inform folks about the exhibit and provide kind of a brief introduction of some of the development stages that we're going through, we are hosting a couple of presentations that are public presentations. We've been sharing that with our members and with our friends, our community partners. And this is an opportunity for all of you as well to join in on those presentations, where I'll go into what we kind of call a deeper dive into the exhibition and our planning process. And those are going to take place on Monday, the 20th of July, and also Wednesday, the 22nd. And I'll put up on the screen here in a second the details about those. One of the key things that will happen after the presentation, at the end of each of these presentations, is there's a survey that we've produced, and we're using that as our feedback channel for folks to give us information, not only a little bit about them, but also about the presentation and their ideas. So they'll see some of the preliminary concepts and be able to give us feedback on those concepts. It also will have opportunities for them to let us know if they have their own stories they would like to share, if they feel they might have be a good candidate for an oral history, or might have some objects they'd be willing to donate or loan. And then all of that will get funneled through a process and be part of the ongoing development of the exhibition. That will include some internal teams within the institution, as well as a advisory committee that Mark and I have had some discussions about, and certainly will probably involve some of you. And then we'll continue to give these public presentations as we develop the exhibition, so that we can be as inclusive and informative as possible. So again, those dates when we're going to do those presentations are Monday, July 20th. That's our daytime slot. So we're going to do that at 2 o'clock. And there's another one on Wednesday for the evening at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And you can just go to the MHS website, which is mohistory.org, click on events, and you'll see that in the list, or click on the date for the 20th and 22nd. And when you click either of those links, you'll register for the webinar. It'll send you a link via Zoom. So again, like Mark said, no public presentation at Soldiers Memorial, just like today. It'll all be done through Zoom. And if you'd like to share that also, you can direct people to our Soldiers Memorial Facebook page. There's a little events tab, and on there are links to both of those as well. So lots of ways that you can funnel in to join the webinar. So I look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. I just looked just a little bit ago, and we have 50 people already registered between the two. So we're excited to share that story.
How long do you think those will last in each, like an hour, would you say?
Yeah, we're shooting for an hour. It may be challenging to my natural tendencies, but I'm going to try and only talk for about 30 minutes or so, and then and do some Q&A. And so hopefully we'll wrap it up in an hour. Our goal is not to go at all past an hour and 15 minutes, but hopefully we'll have some nice questions too.
So either one of those. Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, and they're the same. It'll be the same presentation. If you're a glutton for punishment, come for both, but you could come to one or the other. We did two to give people a daytime option and an evening option.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds really good. Thank you very much, Mike.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions about any of the presentation from Mark or Mike, or any questions for Kate at all? No questions.
I've worked in the past when Shay, I'm in my office is in the same building where hers is, over at 1520, as I have worked with you too. And so it's been a pleasure donating things and being on committees and et cetera, when they call and need something, and I try to accommodate them and all the rest. But so welcome.
Thanks.
Especially welcome. We've seen each other before, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that we weren't able to have any kind of, going away party or whatever for Shay. She left, I think, on the 27th of March. So after we had all departed for home and in the Soldier Memorial. So we weren't able to do any kind of going away thing for her, which was unfortunate. But I know she enjoyed working with the commission, and she obviously, saw so much of that collection and was involved in so much of that work that she definitely left her kind of stamp on it, so to speak. She's doing well, but we do miss her. But we're so happy that Kate is on board.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys have to talk to us about Soldiers Memorial, Mark? Anything else you want to tell us, or?
I think that covers it.
I mean, you told us a lot, so.
Yeah, I tried to squeeze a lot in quickly. So if there are questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Just overall, we've implemented all of the measures that you would expect. We did a lot of surveying with the public to find out kind of what they expected prior to reopening, to find out, what their expectations are when they come to the building. And we've met all of those, and our guests seem to be very pleased with how, the safety measures and protocols that we've put in place and the changes that we've made. So it's been a good experience. We were all very nervous reopening, but it's gone very well, I would say. And Vernon, he didn't want us to get out because he has a reputation to uphold, but he also was complimentary about the protocol, and he tries to maintain his curmudgeonly nature as best he can, but he was very happy with everything that was in place.
Yeah, he keeps you on your toes a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes, he's great.
Yeah, that's good. And I just want to say, I'm really pleased to hear that the online programming and that has gone so well. And it's opened up so many worlds for people. I was talking to my mom and dad this past week, and they're in their 80s. And now, they can go to things like this, and, at Soldiers Memorial or something like that. So it's really been a real positive, I think, that's come about very quickly because of all the problems we've had with these COVID-19 transmission, but it's a lot of good upsides to it as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? No?
Nothing here.
Okay. Well, I think that about does it then. Does anybody have any questions or new business or announcements of any kind? No? I don't know. We'll probably be doing this again this way in September. But if no one has any questions or anything to add, can I call for adjourning the meeting? Adjourn the meeting? Anyone opposed? No? Okay. Meeting adjourned then. Thank you very much for attending.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Bye.
Guys.
Bye.